Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream, where hopefully today we will finish the rough sketch of page 1, and then we can start inking, maybe? Yeah. That's like a plan? Alright. So, I asked on the Winged Canvas Discord, and the feedback was basically it was the arm, and I would assume that they mean this arm right here. That is what looks off. But I'm also kind of wondering, maybe we should do the whole thing like a close up on the face on this one, which basically means we have to more or less throw everything out the window. Excuse me. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, we have this one. So I'm just gonna quickly erase, and we need to bring the reference over. And we will just start. Start drawing, I guess. And get to it. Yeah. Bit exciting stuff has happened since last time we talked, chat. Or you're the silent, you're the tall and silent type. I'm the one doing the yapping here. Look at me, I'm the yapper now. But basically, since July? Yeah, since July this year, I've been, my job has like put me on leave? Is that the one? No. Basically, my there wasn't enough work, or so they argued. So I wasn't let go. I was my position was reduced, so I was just working 2 days 2 days a week, basically. And that, no key, not gonna lie, chat, that kind of straight up sucks. But what can you do? Right? What can we do? But good news is that we have a good social system in my country, so it wasn't, despite the reduced paycheck, we still managed to get the my own personal economy to kind of go around. And that's great. But so I had to also look for jobs and apply for jobs, which proved harder than I expected. In the beginning, there were like No replies whatsoever. But I thought it'd be like, oh, well, maybe it's because of the summer, because, you know, it's the summer. It's the summer season, so HR is still sipping on their little drinks or what have you. But once they get back, things will lighten up. Yes and no. Yes and no. Now, I'm really struggling with it. I'm really struggling with this head. But anyway. That does look wrong. Terribly wrong. I essentially had so I started to get at least replies for the job application that I sent, but it was always the same. Go like, well, thank you for your application, but you know, we went for a different candidate. Wish you all the best though, which was an improvement, and I had to brush up on my CV because I've been sleeping on that. Got complacent. So and then this isn't right. Then finally, after half a year of applying for jobs, we got a response. Because I had some vacation days that needed to be transferred over to the next year because I didn't, because of my because I was only working 2 days a week. But like, oh, I'm not gonna take out any vacation. I have enough free time as it is, and also felt bad for my coworker, which was kind of like left holding the bag. So solidarity between workers and all of that jazz. So I was like, okay. What can we do? But anyway, I finally got a reply, confirmation that go like, yay, I'm continuing from 26 and onwards. Yeah. I'm back full time, baby. Yeah. Which is going to be interesting to see how that's going to pan out. No. It needs to be... I think that the... So that's it. And weirdly enough, after, or just before, somebody else called regarding a job that I have applied to. And they're like, oh yeah, we would like to get you in on a interview if you're interested. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. But of course, after the fact, that was before I knew that I was back at 100%. So I have a job interview. I'll just hear them out. And not necessarily guaranteed. Man, this is a tough angle. But I would like to hear them out nonetheless and see what they have to say, and maybe they pay more, then yeah. Because the job that I have now, as great as it is, it's also a bit of a ticking time bomb, because my coworker, he wants out. Oh man. This is not today. There's something about the chin. Isn't this like the Piran angle, basically? Which is kind of tough because you want to a little bit of that. If he's right, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right, and then yeah, that looks kind of correct. Kind of, almost. Anyway. Yeah, so he's leaving, and when he leaves, we lose a lot of knowledge. Dude's been there for like 10 plus years or something like that, and that means that I will be the head chief, so to speak. And I don't necessarily feel ready for that, because there's still so much stuff that I don't know. It's still too. So, which is kind of why I'm like secretly kind of want to get out. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we end up, chat. The important thing is basically I don't want to rest, because I've been a little bit too complacent, which is probably why I'm spending time investing in like front end development. Again, not necessarily something that will to go like, yeah, career paths changing, but even if it isn't, it's I think it's a neat skill to have. Kind of like, yeah, I can make my own website, and I was gonna make like more excuse me. I can make more like cool little upgrades for my stream. That's all HTML and CSS. Got back into doing CSS today, and yeah, that whole workflow that I had with HTML, because I did like 25 little HTML things just to get the kind of like, oh yeah, get a feel for it. Like, oh yeah, here's 25 small little HTML HTML5 projects that you can try. Yeah, cool. Let's go. And yeah, go with your code, Visual Studio Code, VS Code, yeah, and the GitHub workflow kind of thing, because apparently that's what all the cool kids are doing, and then you go like, all right, well, you gotta. But that whole since I haven't been doing it for like a month, that whole workflow is just going like, yeah, that kind of just gone out of the window. Hang on, I think that this is... Well, again, that is not necessarily big, because like the neck comes in and then you have the trapezius. Granted, like this again, very simplified, but yeah, and then sternum. So yeah, and in celebration of me being in a much better, much more secure financial situation, I bought myself a little Christmas present just for myself. Yay! Which was basically a new smartphone, because one that I have or had, or still have it, you know, I haven't completely transitioned yet, was kind of dying on me. Because it low-key would stop connecting to the phone network. I can live with, I could have survived without, you know, if the Wi-Fi, if it was just the Wi-Fi getting all funky and weird. But it wasn't just the Wi-Fi that was getting funky and weird, unfortunately. It was indeed the phone, so I wouldn't connect, and I'd go like, cool, how do we fix this? And sometimes it comes along with just toggling on and off the airplane mode. So I kind of, or alternatively rebooting the whole phone. But now it was like, no, we're not going to do that. And so it's like, well, what do I do now? Well, like, this is what we... So I kind of had to get myself get myself a new phone. And probably not necessarily his fault, because like I get, part of me go like, I get it, it's your job, but at the same time I was a little bit ticked off at since the guy selling, the salesman at the store, I was like, because I went to the store, I could have bought it like online, but I go like, it's Christmas, and things are gonna take a while before they arrive in the mail, and I kind of need this like a little bit urgently. So what do we do? Why am I wondering? Why am I trying to draw the arm anatomy on this guy? He doesn't really have. Anyway. Doesn't really have much anatomy to speak of. Goodness. Kind of just go into autopilot because like, oh yeah, study. But the so I wanted him to so I went to buy a phone. Right, let's stand topic here. Wanted to buy a phone. And I'm like, all right, let's just go with the Google Pixel 9a. And I told the gentleman at the store as much. Like I would like to buy the Google Pixel 9a, and he was like, why don't you go with 10? Part of me was like, that's like kind of like none of your business. I told you what I want to buy. Why don't, as much as it is his, oh my goodness, this whole thing isn't really working. Alright. Let's just start over and start fresh, chat. Or maybe I'm just struggling to juggle two things at the same time, drawing and yapping. But so part of me was just like, leave me alone. I told you what I want. I told you what I want. Leave me alone. And so I was like, the guy was just, so it was a little bit back and forth, and I go like, no, it's too, thank you, but like the 10 is too expensive for me. You go like, well, yeah, it gets cheaper like with the subscription. I was just go like, and the more he went on, I was like, I told you specifically, like, had it been, like, had I come to you for advice, like, hey, I want to buy a new phone, but I haven't bought a new phone in freaking ages, half a decade since last time I bought a phone, what do you recommend? Then I could get it, like, then you do the sales pitch thing, but if I'm telling you I want to buy this specific thing, Just let me buy it. Pretty please with sugar on top. Don't come with a sales pitch. I've already made up my mind. So, I was a little bit miffed that I was sort of like, no, it's too expensive for me, but it gets, yeah, but it gets cheaper with the subscription. And I was like, I don't have that subscription. You want to upgrade? And I go like, no, I don't need to upgrade because it's more expensive and I don't like paying more for more than, of course I didn't tell them that, but I go like, I don't need more data on my plan. I don't see any need for it. I generally struggle to get through the 2 gigabytes. That I'm already using. That I already have with my basic, most primitive plan there is. And like, get off my back, basically. So eventually I got the phone. Happy endings, yay! But then I go like, oh, I need a casing for it. Like a case, protective case for it. And I would like to have one of those. I think they're called wallet casings, where you essentially, it's a flip cover over it, because then you can slot in your credit card and driver's license and all that stuff, and I go like, and I don't have to wear a wallet. I can just carry. That's what I had for my old phone. I was like, oh, I need this for the new phone. Of course, they didn't have that in that store. They didn't have it in storage, so I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. So I went to another store in the same franchise, but it's just a different store. Let's go. Do they have it in stock? They did not. But they had the one that I wanted, but it was for the 10. And I was like, ah. And why can't I get this head orientation to work in the way that I want it to? That's the big question. I'll keep asking myself. Maybe I just need to lock in. Maybe I just need to lock in, chat. Stop yapping and start drawing. Nope, that looks absolutely horrible. Yeah, we'll just... Thanks, I hate it. I had something, but then of course then I ruined it because I'm an idiot. Alright. Alright. So if the shoulders are going this way and you kind of want to go like, what if we just do this way? Right. Opposing. Really turning here. Arm continues. Kind of goes out like that, and then goes down here, and then and goes up. Raise the eyes even higher. Maybe? Something like that. Could work. Well, the sketches are definitely going to get messy and not particularly clean, but, you know, who cares? That's part of the beauty of it all. Like that. Doesn't have to be pretty. It needs to work. Alright. Okay, yeah. Does that work? If we do like this. I think this could work. Let's see where we end up, chat. Oh, that works. That's a good head. Classic 3/4 view. I think to the chin's a little bit too wide, maybe. Boom, instant air. We have the hole for the neck. And it's really weird. It's a little bit better. Okay. Separating of hand and wrist. You think you know. but then you don't. Every single frickin' time. And that stuff is humbling. Oh, tinnitus spike. Sometimes that just really spikes up. Like the stretch is on this side. So I'll just do it like that. And then the pinch is on this side. Doesn't look right. That looks more dramatic. More dramatic, more correct, if you will. Like that. No, I wanted him to come running at the camera. So again, maybe we'll just keep it secret. Just keep it secret. No, we're not gonna keep it secret, chat. We're gonna keep it simple. That's what I wanted. So we're just gonna tilt the head. Right. A little bit. Right. Of course, now the center line is off, but that's okay. And I thought I was smart by not playing Guild Wars for 7 hours today. Like, yeah, I feel confident about going into drawing stream. I have played some Guild Wars, but I didn't play it for 7 freaking hours. Yeah, I'm somewhat rested. I eating dinner, and everything. But everything that I'm doing is turning into crap. Oh, you're getting a lot of mileage though. I'll give you that. Like there's a tilt to it. Alright, we're just doing the box thing. Alright, rib cage. Doing the whole analysis thing. Alright. There's the box. For that, and then you have the other. Or it's probably a twisting because those so yeah. This is twisting motion because one leg is in front of the other. Oh, so this, the leg here is kind of coming forward. Like such. Oop. Oh. Yeah, and I saw the, what was it, teaser for the new Supergirl movie? I think it was, I saw one of the comments. It's like, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Part 4. And I was like, yeah, that kind of checks out. Like, I don't necessarily want to watch another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Oh. I don't know. Is James Gunn just a one-trick pony? I don't know. That's what the legs are doing, so... And, of course, we have... arm... Arm part 2. Cleaning up so that doesn't look as confusing. Alright, then we have so those stretch here. We have we don't need all that internal stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah. Alright, that's the kind of the perspective, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, am I lost in the process or what? My head is too small. Why won't you work? Alright, let's just... feel like I keep going over the same idea over and over and over and over and over and over again. I was like, yeah, it should be easy. Or it's deceptively hard to get that sense of movement. Right. And I'd have been smart, you know, I would have prepared, I would have dug up some references or something, but no, we're not smart, not on this channel. On this channel, we're just a big dum-dum. Trying to figure out, find my left from my right as I go along. Well, it's definitely not going to be a pretty comic, I can tell you that. I can tell you that much. But just gotta refine this a little bit enough so that I can start, so that I have a scaffolding of sorts that I can put that, gosh darn, that we can ink on top. That's basically all that I want at this point. Okay. Alright. Mandalorian looking helmet. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think that chin is too wide, but you know what? Screw it. Easy ear. And neck. Like, on one hand, I kind of hate the straight on look because it flattens the face, but on another, like, it does look cool that he's like running more or less straight at the viewer. Or running straight at the camera. So you kind of just gotta really lean into that. Yeah, that going down and then up again with the hand, that little break in the wrist really sells the running motion. Probably might even be right about here the chin is. The neck is too long. We need to squash it down a little bit. We don't need to do the feet because we have already established the running. Yeah? Does that work? I think it's better. Alright. Like the very rough one kind of works, but then you kind of like, well, I want to clean it up a little bit and refine it, and that's why things start falling apart for some reason. But okay. Let's try it one more time, chat. Once more with feeling. Thank goodness I'm not on a deadline. That would be incredibly stressful. At some point you just gotta go like, you know what, screw it, it's good enough. Let's just call it a wrap and move on. Right? Let's just call it a wrap. Move on. Let's see. I like to finish, or at the very least start inking this page before the end of the year. Which basically means I need to finish the rough sketches on Sunday, so that I can spend next week inking. Honestly, and this might be like famous last words and all of that jazz, but I don't think inking is going to be that bad. This is the hard part. At least currently, feels like this is a hard part. This is where you're working and trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't work. There's a lot of trial and error, but like once you sort of quote unquote found that thing, and you sort of like, okay, it's rough, yeah, sure, fine, whatever, but I can, it's in a rough, semi-refined state, a la this panel here. So like now I can fade this back and I can put details. I can put the rendering on top. I can put that in the line art. Also put on the line art. We can put on the put in the shading or halftones, rendering, whatever you want to call it. And once we get to that stage, it's hands off the chess piece, as it were. I mean, making comics is a lot more involving now than when it was when I was in junior high. Whereas back then, didn't know anything. It was just raw, unapologetic, creative endeavors. Which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong. It's just simpler times. Yeah. Again. Yeah, whatever. Neck. The good thing is, though, I do get to challenge myself. So that's good. is how you grow. Again, I'm not... Like, it's a cylinder that sort of sits underneath. So, I don't know. It just... Why does it keep falling apart in the... I don't know. Refinement. Yeah, but like he kind of cheated it because like he's, I don't know, because you don't see any of the bottom of the chin. Head on. Like not so dramatically curved. Right. Yeah, I have a little bit of that. How many times am I gonna have to do this panel? Like, I kinda like this. Okay, the head is a little bit too big, probably. Look, like, all right, yeah, like, again, I like it. And I go like, all right, let's just push this back and refine it. And then it just falls apart. I have no idea why. I know. Doesn't really matter. Alright. Start big. Alright. And just kinda refine it a little bit. Oop. Alright. Ever so slightly. Gotta curve it. Move it. Cut off the excess. And okay. Chin. Side. And now we quote unquote just connect the dots. Get rid of the excess. That works. Methinks. Yeah. Don't get too invested in the rough. Learn to let go. That's low-key important. Okay. I don't know, eye area is something like that. Oh yeah, I'm done with Christmas shopping as well. Fun fact. So done with it. Probably gonna have to do a... If I'm smart, I'm gonna do a Christmas workshop where I'm basically I'm wrapping things up and labeling the presents. Do that tomorrow. Start big. And then refine. too spherical or rib cage, but whatever. An hour and a half into the stream. But they say that this is where 80% of the sketch, or 80% of the sketch, or 80% of the drawing or illustration happens here. So once you have this sort of figured out, then tilt. So we're just gonna curve it. And then stretch it out on this side. Clean up the inside of this thing. So yeah, I was afraid of that. Like, I think again, the head is just. I think again, the head is simply just too big. Too big for the neck, basically. Oh, I need to shrink the sucker down. Maybe is the head too big? Or too high as well. So smaller. Because it goes like 2 heads in one rib cage. Trying to remember my proportions. It was like from the top of from your top of your head to your teeth. Like if you're using the sternum, which is this line here, as your measuring unit. Right. My analytical brain. Please stop. Shoulder, but you don't see the over. Or not much of it anyway, because like it's... Okay, so if that is the overarm right there, sneaking out behind, right, and then you have the other arm, the forearm, basically. Coming in hot. is kind of... And I think my process is also just a heck of a lot more clunkier than it needs to be, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to rectify that. To be honest. It's kind of just gambling that is something that will sort of organically sort itself out, given enough time. Right. Okay. Shoulder, arm, and then elbow. Forearm. Get rid of this stuff on the inside here. So it reads clearer. There we go. Yeah. This kind of drawing is tough because you're not on autopilot, or at least I am not on autopilot because I don't have enough mileage on it. So you're thinking and actively like, how does this work, and so on and so forth, and how does that thing connect to that thing, and why does that look weird, and so on and so forth. But if you have enough mileage under your belt, you can go like, oh yeah, I've done this before. I know how this works. I'm on home turf. And it's kind of reassuring, I guess, in a way. How do we do you? Oh, fisty bump thing. Can I get that angle to be probably need to be at the no. I just partially need a placeholder, but also, as much as I need a placeholder, I also need a it also needs, like, at some point to go, like, you gotta stop with the placeholders to go, like, no, I need to think of how does that actually work, and what scale am I, it needs to be proportional, and wow. Okay, that could work, I guess. Doesn't really look very fist-like. But at this point, I'm also kind of low-key scared that if I start digging up references, I would lose the energy, and you're kind of already feeling like I'm losing the energy because I'm sculpting it too much, I'm refining it too much. Alright. So we can do that, something like that. I mean, we could tilt him as well. Ugh. My brain is fried, chat. My brain is fried. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it there. Not necessarily end of the stream, but it's 2 hours. 2 hours just refining. Oh, I mean, that's good. Good effort. 2 hours of refining that one sketch. The one hope that I have is that things will get better as I progress through it, because I will get more experience. I will get I will find a process. Why is the overview so squished? There we go. Yeah. That is the full, right, so this is the full height. This is 100%. Yeah, 100% zoom. And this is slightly out, but it's because I have, that is the, it adjusts, fits the width, right? And it fits the height, width, and 100%. Cool. I was kind of wondering about that because, like, with the webtoon format, this is go like it's like 800 by 1200 pixels or whatever. This is go like, god dang. But yeah, that is for 2027 me to worry about if we're gonna do the webtoon. Holy smokesy pants! And then we got color on top of everything else. Yeah, it's not perfect, chat. It's not. But it is a refinement of what I had, which is good. Progress is slow, but any progress is better than no progress, right, chat? I'm just gonna clean things up a little bit. A little bit. Okay. And that is an ugly, ugly sketch, but the one solace is that nobody, it won't show in the final product, or it might show in the final product as a reflection, like that is the oh my goodness, that is the foundation on which we will put the live art. And as much as I would like to do something about that establishing shot, again, it looks barren and bare, but kind of barren and bland, not gonna lie. But who knows, maybe the rendering will make it pop, I don't know. But I'm kinda, we blow this one up. And do just that. Right, because then it feels like something is really breathing down your neck, like visuals. Again, thinking visual storytelling here, right? Like dun 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 dun, like kind of like Jaws, right? Plus, I don't have to draw a hand. I don't have to draw the hand. Oh man, I get tired, but also I'm out of water. I'll be right back, chat. Don't touch that dial. All right, we're back. Eat. Maybe. All right. So, if we're gonna do the hand of the hands off the chessboard kind of chess piece kind of thing, do this. Okay. Now, it is possible that one of the reasons why I'm so tired is because I keep closing the door to my little office, but it's a little office, so it's not... might not necessarily have enough air circulation in it. That's why I get so tired. The reason why I close it is because kitchen sink keeps making these gurgling sounds, and my mic picks it up. Oh. But whatever. We'll just leave it as is, I guess. Okay, let's just experiment. I might have to... okay. I mean, it is the same continuation of the same line, but it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same height. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if there is a... I'm getting off on the weird tangents here, but keyboard shortcuts. Let's see, alpha. Color to alpha. Alpha into mass. Okay. Ah, nice. So now I have a hotkey for enabling alpha. Cool. Shift A. Because then I can draw collapse. Oh, I thought it would inherit it, but okay. Doesn't really matter. I have a hotkey to quickly enable it. And yeah. Alright, let's get this chunky boy out of the way. I think that's more than enough. I'll tuck you in underneath there, and put you there, and then this. No, not Control A. Shift A. There we go. So let's just, I don't know, do let's just do outlines for now. Right. Again, my workflow probably sucks, but and this becomes like the one kind of like low-key peaceful activities. How do we want them? No, I want this one to be really, 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 really thin. course, you could just go like, use a smaller, thinner brush. I guess I could do that too. I'm just being stupidly stubborn. Oh. Yeah. But it's a little like... Yeah, I kind of like that. Is that okay? The perspective isn't really probably the greatest, but no, whatever. And again, don't be too attached to the why no music? Oh, it's just a long silence. All right. I mean, might just be easier if we... Then we also need to align it like such. Right. And I said... right. Yeah, again, it becomes one of those things. It's like you got to go back to the reference, of course, and again, there's a lot of darks in here, so I'm not entirely sure how much of this line art thing would play in, but you know. It's good practice nonetheless, even though it might not necessarily be super efficient. So yeah, let's just outline this building right down here. And this one needs to be this one needs to be thicker than that because that line is in front of that. Line hierarchy. Yay. Well, we could just go the opposite way, I suppose. To make it a little bit more visually interesting. And boop. There we go. And oop, that's not what I wanted. If it ever comes to the point where I will go back and review these videos, I'm gonna like, holy crap, what an idiot I was. Like, low-key chat, that would be the best. Because that would mean that I would have learned a lot. And that's good. Learning is good. Learning is awesome. Yeah. No, that is a terrible, terrible idea. The lines are contradicting one another, so we can't have that, chat. We can't have that. It needs to have. They're kind of tricky. Let's just leave it like that, chat. Let's just leave it like that. I mean, if nothing else, you get distinctive line work. If nothing else, so. things will get faster with time, chat. Because speed and efficiency are just byproducts of having done something a lot. And I'm just, you know, huffing and puffing at copium as one should. Or rather... I guess this will just be once upon a time. I'm kind of curious where we'll be a year from now. Huh, the same freaking page. Constantly tweaking and refining the same page. Hopefully not. Because worst part is I might have to redo the whole... not necessarily. Depend. Again, I guess it all depends, chat, on how... And I know it's not going to show, but it still bothers me. There we go. All nice and quiet. Still bugs me, even though you're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, you just turn it. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious me. How do people do this whole time? Well, it certainly it would it. I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure it helps that they go like they do this before. What was it? Alternating. It's this one. Where you have thin ones that are stick protruding, and then you have. Right, so these are the protruding ones. So these are the ones that should be bright. Right, because this one takes inspiration from that one. With its fuse that sticks out, and then, right. Right. Oh well. It's insane, dude. Absolutely freaking insane. The more I look at that New York establishing shot, the more I'm in awe, because like I don't think that you really grow to appreciate it until you like tried your hand at it. Okay, so that's that corner. We can just leave it out here. We can be, yeah, let's just be a little bit cheeky, chat. And we can pull it a little bit back. And I'm not sure if we... Can we? Question mark? If I just... But if I use this... if I just move the pivot point... Oh my goodness, sometimes I am such a gosh darn freaking genius. Alright, now we need to figure out... we can collapse those two. And we need to figure out where we want to put this baby. I'm kind of thinking of like just put it right there, and then just shrink it down like such, and then what? Now I know that those are aligned, and now that means that I can sleep well tonight. Right, and now we can just calmly erase these away. And we can also clean up the interior like such. Boom. Hang on. That is... Yeah. I think I also need to... If I want to be smart, which I want to. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to trim this sucker down. Okay. Collapse these two. does that work? My brain is getting cooked, chat. Is that where... No. No. It stops there, and then you have another line like that down there. Right. That's how that works. Okay, so we can call, so now we have all of those, right? And we have all of these. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yay! I don't know what's worse, being a penciler or the inker. Penciler, you kind of have to figure everything out on your own, but with the inker, it's go like somebody has done a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but it go like, oh, I need to make heads and tails out of all of these pencil lines. Like, god damn. But yeah, let's just get it done. It's more important. Ah, you dingus. Getting it done is more important than getting it perfect. Or pretty, for that matter. An effort should be made to make it pretty, but like, yeah, no, it's a learning project, so keep telling myself that, chat, so I don't have to worry about it. So I don't stress out too much, you know? That's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted at all. That is too thick. No, actually, it's ideal. Okay. Oh. Let's bring it down here. This method is kind of nice for like simple straight lines, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm gonna get my absolute ass handed to me when it comes to more curvy organic stuff. But we shall see. That basically just means that I need to refine my process, chat. That's all there is to it. And that is not that corner. That is important. When we're doing the top box now. Oh, let's not get it twisted. But now this needs to change. And yeah, this line here needs to go at least down there, I think, because then we have clearing enough to... Okay, so I'm actually doing, now that I think about it, like I'm doing the opposite in terms of line weight, because this corner is closest, so this one should be darker and it should be receding, but then this form is in front of that form, so blah, 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 blah. I'm making all sorts of mistakes here, chat, but whatever. Like, whatever. This is the Valley Girl stream. Like, oh my god. Let's see if we can get some tapering action here. Tapering action. Let's go. Oh. I mean, that kind of works. Low key. And we just align these two pretty little corners. Happy little accents. Love to see it, chat. Love to see it. That's like 1 pixel thick. Okay, this needs to be probably a little bit thicker, but not by much. There we go. And right, tuck it up underneath there. All right. Is there anything? Kind of curious. What does it look like if we turn? I mean, this line here is really screaming for attention. That's a bit of a problem. Am I gonna fix it? Nope. I'm just gonna have to, like, yeah. It's gonna be one of those I acknowledge it, but I refuse to do anything about it kind of thing. And I suppose sometimes these lines don't even need to, like, perfectly meet up at all. But yeah. Oh, I should probably I should probably finish this. Finish what I started. At least this part. Stupid perfectionist in me. Ah! Alright. There we go. Yeah, the line weight principles are all over the place in this establishing shot. Hey. So. Now, just for a toilet break. Be right back, chat. Okie dokie. Now, where were we? Yeah, we've done more or less all the fun, easy parts. More or less all of it. Which leaves us with this painfully obvious boring and difficult part of the illustration, which is like the interiors of the two of the buildings. Oh. Hmm. So then, of course, the big question is, what do... Well, I wonder how much of it can we cheese our way out of. Because again, it's stuff like this is sort of like, oh yeah, you need to optimize your workflow, and that's probably not necessarily. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, let's just put you right there on the corner. Yeah, because I obviously, yeah, duh. Okay, okay. And okay, so this one stops here, so we don't need this. We need to get you away from there, and you also disappear behind this. And none of you are visible here. We'll just tuck you nice, neatly underneath there. And can I get a extra fry? Oh. Okay. That is definitely a choice, but there we go. Okay. All right. So that's those two, and I'm just thinking. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking I'm tired. But okay, let's see if we can finish up all of these stupid lines here and clean up the connection. And then call it a day. Because we want to avoid burnout, chat. Burnout is not cool. Yeah? Hang on. We can just... do its... let's just do it simple. Let's do the simple part first. Let's procrastinate as much as possible on the hard and difficult stuff. Okay. So we can just take you, copy paste. Copy paste. Copy paste. Copy paste. Copy paste. It doesn't align with the perspective. Okay. Now there can only be one chat. Oh, right. Dang it. He needs to be here. Oh, that's... oh boy, this is... I thought this was the easy part, but I go like, no, this isn't the easy part. This is the hard part. I'm not even sure if he will even... There's so many layers. Oh my goodness. Okay. We now collapse all of the layer 2s. Right. So the corners are here. Right. That's kind of what we agree on. I'm just trimming away the excess here. Trimming away the excess, chat. Let's see. Considering how much my brain is melting from this, I'm terrified of that staircase shot. Okay, anyway, that is... and now we get rid of that. We need to get rid of every other one of these. And now you can sort of... Now, hopefully, you can see the vision. That was there. Oh. I guess I needed one last to so that we can remove this. There we go. Look at that chat. That's beautiful. All right, and now you just need a bunch of really thin line that's sort of converging towards this vanishing point over here. Yeah, kind of makes sense. All right, well, too late now. I committed. Hands off the chess piece, chat. We gotta move forward. Did I move it? I moved something. Sketch and ink layer. Cool. There we go. All right. Well, get to it. All right, let's. Okay, let's just be real here. Let's just see what the 4. What does that give us? Wait. All right, let's give us a 2. Can we? All right, that is acceptable. Let's see if we can speed run this one, chat. Oh, let's just eyeball it. We're gonna eyeball the perspective, chat. And we just need because if the perspective is correct enough, the brain will sort of autocorrect and compensate for and later on I would probably look at my past self, my current present self, and I would just go like, you dumbass, just use the tools. It looks terrible, it looks horrible. Let's set up the perspective correct, at least when it comes to inking, you big dum-dum. But, you know, whatever. Whatever, future me. You hold no power here. Alright, oh, I also need, probably something like this. Imagine trying to draw this freehand without rulers. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm not actually using a ruler now. I'm just using a straight line tool kind of thing. No, that one disappears. Sweet. That wasn't so bad. Terrible, nightmare foolish. Alright. Now we can just accelerate the process. We're just doing like that. Look at that, chat. And then, of course, we have some stranglers over here. Is it perfect? No. But it's good enough for me. Good enough for my first shoddy comic in 30 years? 3 decades. Ah. Alright. Almost 3 hours on the dot. We're making progress, chat. We're making progress. The sketching part is really killing us, but whatever. I remembered I have running shoes. Not actually proper running shoes, but indoor running shoes. I think I can put them on and put some references, because like this, the whole shoe part here is kind of like it's bugging me a little bit. Like this panel, the second panel here, not so bad. But this one, it's not bad per se, but like I really kind of want to get this bend in the foot correctly. Or at the very least, better than it is here. And also then I might also get some proper scale to this thing. So, yeah. But yeah, we will just basically pick up where we left off and continue not tomorrow, on Sunday, basically. That's the plan. We will ink our way. I think we will just do the inking, the line art. And after the line art is done, then we can worry about shading and whatnot. Halftones. And hopefully, and then things should pick up. Might be able, then who knows? And I don't think that halftone, like the halftones on the establishing shot, this long one here, that might be a little bit trial and error. But we already have a template for our, not exactly protagonist, but for our characters. So we have an idea of the value structure here, and this one is meant to be with a dark outline, like it was in the original sketch. He will be completely filled with halftone and some sort of halftone against a white background. And this one is really growing on me. Like, it's better. Like, you get closer. Something is changing. We get a sense of like looking over his shoulder. He's anxious. He's terrified. Yeah, but something is closing in on him. Good stuff. All right. So I think we'll call it there, chat. Thank you so much for stopping by. Until then, keep drawing and keep having fun. I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.